Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ken Vandermark. As College Marshal, I welcome you to this 2015 commencement ceremony. The platform party will now enter the tent. The platform party consists of the President of the College, members of the President's senior staff, the commencement speaker, Chancellor of the Vermont State Colleges, members of the Board of Trustees, and Vermont Technical College department chairs and program directors. Please welcome the faculty and staff of the college. As is the tradition at Vermont Tech, the faculty and staff will greet the degree candidates as they process into the tent, passing between the two lines of faculty and staff. They are led this afternoon by faculty marshals, Dr. Carl Brandon and Professor Mark Correo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the class of 2015. is my pleasure to present the president of Vermont Technical College, Dan Smith.
You'll get your turn, Mr. Aiello. Good afternoon and welcome to the 149th Vermont Technical College Commencement. It gives me great pleasure to invite up Tiffany Gast, a student in construction management at Vermont Tech, who's going to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany. Alumni, trustees, parents, guests, and soon-to-be graduates of Vermont Technical College. On behalf of our faculty and staff, I want to welcome you to the 149th Annual Commencement. Today's celebration marks the beginning of one chapter and the end of another for you, the members of class of 2015. As members of the academic community, we join your many friends and family to honor what you personally have achieved during your time at the college. I believe I speak on behalf of everybody assembled here when I say we are very, very proud of each and every one of you. I would like to welcome and recognize the distinguished members of our college community and the extended Vermont Tech community who are here to witness this commencement ceremony this afternoon. Please allow me to introduce them. Professor Ken Vandermark, who's the college marshal. Ken is a professor emeritus in the electrical and computer engineering technology departments at the college. Vermont Tech is fortunate to be a member of the Vermont State College system. We have a talented and dedicated board of trustees. We're blessed with a talented and dedicated chancellor. I want to thank Chancellor Jeb Spalding, racing down here from Johnson State College's ceremony this morning to join us this afternoon. Trustees Craig Handom, Church Hines, for joining us this afternoon and showing their support. We are fortunate to have board members so deeply committed to the success of our students, the state colleges, and the state of Vermont. The Chancellor and our trustees share our collective dedication to the idea that higher education can be a transformative experience and should be accessible to all who are willing to do the work it requires. We appreciate your presence. I'd like to introduce my senior staff as well, made up of the college deans, directors, and 3 faculty members. Dean of Academic Affairs, Phil Petty. Dean of Academic Programs and Regional Campuses, Dr. Brent Sargent. Dean of Student Affairs, Jay Patterson. Dean of Administration, Littleton Tyler. Associate Dean of Enrollment and Alumni Affairs, Dwight Cross. Director of Continuing Education and Workforce Development, Maureen Hebert. Associate Professor of Computer and Information Systems, Dr. Craig Damon. Professor of English, Dr. Jeff Higgins. Professor of Architectural and Building Engineering Technology, Professor Scott Sable. And here we are back on our little hilltop. Let's hope those. So, for those of us who aren't in the know, it's been about 9 years since we held graduation in Randolph Center. And we're an institution that teaches programs all over the state. We have an incredibly dynamic campus up in Williston. But for many of us, this feels like home, and it's nice to bring graduation back up on this hilltop. For some of our students, it may be the first time they've set foot on this campus. For others, this hilltop represented the center of their universe for the last few years. Regardless of whether we're sitting a stone's throw from your dorm room or whether you drove here today from a far corner of the state, your walk across this stage represents the final steps of a challenging journey. A journey that took hard work, commitment, and has deep meaning because of that effort. It is a journey that nobody completes without support. The support of friends, family, faculty, and staff, many of whom surround you today. After all, we're in this together. Higher education is a human enterprise in which many play a role, and we should be grateful for it. I'm no different. I owe my chance to be here to many people. But of those who played a role, I'm going to take the liberty to be personal for a moment. None had a greater impact than my mother. I'd like to acknowledge and thank her on her birthday. And so, out of respect for all those who supported us, I will make the same request of you that I did of last spring's graduates and I did of this morning's graduates. We best honor those who got us here by offering a helpful hand when we see somebody else facing the challenges that life brings. In the coming years, recognize the opportunity to reach out when a colleague, a friend, or a neighbor needs it. It'll seem easier to look the other way or to tell yourself that you're too busy. But instead, think of somebody who made a difference along this path for you. Think of a Professor Sable. Think of a Professor Damon. Think of a Professor Richmond Hall. Think of a Robin Goodall. Know that your act of kindness is an act of respect for those who helped you along the way. The truth is, when we came to Vermont Tech, whether we studied here in Randolph or in Williston, online or in program locations across the state, we all joined something a little bigger than ourselves. You take your places today on a continuum of those who have come before and those who will come after. With it comes a responsibility tied to those folks and the communities around you. We are stewards of a legacy that binds us together. A legacy that connects us to people who built roads and bridges in places all across the country. People who rebuilt this state after Hurricane Irene. A legacy that connects us to those who grow the food you eat and produce the milk you drink. A legacy that connects us to people who offer compassionate care for your family when they get sick. To people who have started and run great businesses. People who built the microchips that run your phone and your flat screen. People building networks and designing innovative software. People who keep vehicles running safely and cleanly. People designing buildings so they use less energy, and projects and equipment that will provide clean energy for years to come. People who build the systems and design the landscapes that will revitalize our rivers and streams. People who work hard every day so the communities of Vermont and New England will continue to offer the opportunity, the economy, the lifestyle, culture, and landscape that so many find so compelling. Last week, President Obama spoke at a college graduation ceremony. He didn't speak at Columbia or Yale. He didn't speak at Harvard or Brown, and it wasn't UVM or UVA. He spoke at Lake Area Technical Institute in Watertown, South Dakota, a small technical college in a small rural state. He spoke there because of the college's, quote, relentless focus on teaching real-world skills that lead directly to a decent job. Does that sound familiar? He spoke there because it is the kind of place, quote, where students are on a first-name basis with their professors. That sounds familiar to me. He spoke there because, in his view, from the standpoint of the highest official in the nation, It is the kind of institution that is, quote, leading the way. That definitely sounds familiar to me. For all of our challenges, those same things hold true for this institution and the work of our faculty and staff. From the relentless focus on the real world to the faith that you won't get lost in the back of the classroom. These characteristics are the heart of the reason why this college is on the rise. So leave here today with the confidence that graduates from this institution will lead the way because you know how to get things done. That is the exception in this day and age. Embrace that leadership. Know that along with the unique skills and knowledge you possess, you have a responsibility to leave things stronger and better than you find them every chance you get. Our legacy as a college is that we build things. We make things, we grow things, we heal things, and we fix things. These are rare skills. And so day by day, week by week, and year by year, use those skills to leave the real world around you stronger and better than you find it. And so along with our faculty and staff, members of the college leadership and trustees, I am humbled to offer my congratulations for the work you've done and grateful for the chance to play a role. Thank you and congratulations. It is a Vermont Tech tradition that a member of the graduating class is selected to offer a message to his or her classmates. The student is selected by members of the Commencement Committee. It is my pleasure to invite Matt Aiello to the podium. Matt will be receiving his Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Information Technology. He's from Springfield, Vermont. He's been a resident assistant for 3 years and a very active member of our college community. Please welcome Matt.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, President Smith, for those kind words. Friends, family, colleagues and classmates, distinguished guests, and those weird aunts and uncles that you didn't invite, but they showed up anyway. Oh, and of course, the graduating class of 2015. We made it. And if you think that's the most cliche thing I'm going to say this afternoon, then you should probably buckle up, because this is going to get rough. Today's a special day for about 12% of the people here. If you're not wearing a silly hat and a dress, then this one's not for you. I'm talking to the people sitting in front of me. The people who have been here for as long as they needed to be and have pulled it through the 7-month dead period that is winters here on the Hill. It's been a mostly cold road, but you are all the ones that made it through. I don't know if we're tough, stubborn, or just stupid, but whichever angle you take, the end game is the same. Some have called us the greatest generation of our time. Okay, full disclosure, that was just me that said that. But don't let that discourage you from chasing your dreams. See, more cliche stuff. None of us here today can deny that this school has hit a rough patch. It's true. Vermont Tech's fallen on hard times and has suffered some losses because of it. However, just like when you think you're going to get a head start on that assignment, there's always a but. As much as some of you might not see it sometimes, this school is something to be proud of. We're not big, we're not rich, but what we are is strong. Wherever we might have pitfalls, we make up for it with our academics, athletics, agricultural advancement, engineering, and innovation. We represent Vermonters. We're not afraid to get our hands dirty in the pursuit of greater knowledge. And more than that, the men and women of Vermont Tech represent humanity at its best. When I was given the honor of speaking to you all today, I was elated. I've never spoken in front of a crowd like this before. I had to present to the Commencement Committee before I was chosen to give this speech. So, in typical college student fashion, I wrote it the night before. I tried and tried to weave a detailed and heartfelt message to the outgoing students, and all I really came up with was a bunch of jokes. Then I sat down last week and really thought about what it was that got me to this podium, and how this school has shaped the person that I am now. And I was reminded of the time that I spent as a tour guide. Let me just say I wasn't the best tour guide. If someone asked me an honest question about this college, they were going to get an honest answer. A lot of parents were worried about the size of the school and that their child wouldn't get the variety that bigger colleges offered. And I always told the parents the same thing. At a school like UVM, you're not so much an individual, you're a number. And there are so many other numbers at a school that size that it's all that a student is in the eyes of a teacher. Here, it's very, very different. You will know all of your teachers by name, and they'll know you just the same. Professors I've had once, in my freshman year, will still say, hey, every time we cross paths in the hall. Even some, I got personal phone numbers if I need help. And that's something special that we have at Vermont Tech. It's more than a sense of community, it's a sense of family. Albeit the biggest, loudest, most dysfunctional family in history, but a family nonetheless. Vermont Tech is the kind of place where if you devote just a little bit of time every day to meeting new people, you'll know everyone on campus inside a week. And that's what Vermont Tech is to me, family. As much joy and happiness as there is in the air today, I can't help but notice that it's laced with fear and apprehension. We're scared of the world that we're being thrown into, and we have to go be real adults now, and the training wheels are off. But don't be discouraged. Fear is healthy, and it keeps us going, as long as we don't let it take over. Maya Angelou put it very nicely. What is a fear of living? It's being preeminently afraid of dying. It's not doing what you came here to do out of timidity and spinelessness. The antidote is to take full responsibility of yourself for the time you take up and the space you occupy. If you don't know what you're here to do, then just do some good. It's not going to just magically work out. You're going to fail, but letting those failures weigh down upon you will net you a big fat nothing. So I put it to all of you. Go out. Fall down. Fail at something you thought you might be good at, but never stop learning. Just because you have that piece of paper doesn't mean you should ignore the lessons that are to be learned around you. Besides, once you cross this stage, you don't know everything anymore. But your mom still does, so don't worry too much about it. I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of the parents here today, the people who've helped guide you to this day and will always be proud of you and accept you when you move back in with them. But in reality, jokes aside, most of you wouldn't be here today without the guidance and support of a parental figure. On a personal note, my parents are right here today, and I can't think of a better way to thank them for everything that they've given me. This last week, my mom, when I was working on this speech, my mom told me to speak from the heart, and I can't rightly do that without talking about my parents. Because of them, I got to attend this amazing college. I met some of the best people in the world, and I'm going into the world prepared to face the day. And I wouldn't have had any of that if it weren't for them. So thank you. I don't think I'll ever get a more grand avenue for showing my gratitude. And the same goes for all of the parents out there. I know that sometimes they might be hard on you, and you might be hard right back on them, but they'll always care about you, no matter where your life might take you. Congratulations to the class of 2015.
On behalf of the college, I am incredibly happy to welcome Zeb Scoville to Vermont Tech. Zeb is a tinkerer. He works with tools that have to be effective in some of the most inhospitable environments that we can imagine. He has to build teams on which lives depend. He is also a proud Vermonter. He graduated in 1993 from Union 32 High School. Zeb went on to attend Stanford University, where he received a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and then a master's in aero-astro engineering. For the past 15 years, he has enjoyed an incredible career at NASA, where he helped the return to flight effort following the 2003 Columbia accident by developing thermal protection systems, inspection, and repair techniques. Most recently, he was promoted to flight director, where he now leads the International Space Station Flight Control Team responsible for pre-flight mission development and real-time mission execution. He's also one of my oldest friends. Please join me in welcoming Zeb Scoville.
afternoon. I'd like to thank you and President Dan Smith for the invitation to be here. It is an honor to address the class of 2015 on this day that celebrates your achievement, dedication, and persistence. Today you have succeeded. Congratulations. There is something magical about Vermont at the end of spring. The maple buds have now transitioned into an explosion of green. Hikers are forsaking their day jobs and setting out on the long trail for a day or a month. On the dirt roads, the sense of apprehension mixed with excitement of gunning your car through 100 yards of snow melt and mud ruts is slowly being replaced with the jarring vibration of potholes and washboards of drier summer. On the farms, the animals have broken from their cold huddle against the winter wind and snow. They now spread out with a singular sense of purpose to devour as much fresh clover as they can. This makes for a great postcard. I grew up about 30 minutes north of Vermont Tech in Middlesex. As a teenager, my first car wore the mud-splattered badge of honor from just such a dirt road. I learned to drive stick shift with a 1970s Ford tractor. However, we all know that this montage of Vermont is cliché. It's good for the Tourism Bureau, but as I said, it is just a postcard. It hides a depth and complexity, a drive for action over pretense, a global awareness, and the innovative spirit that is ingrained in the culture of institutions like Vermont Tech. Your presence here today demonstrates your commitment to this mentality. I've already congratulated you on today's successes. Today is your day. Next, you need to fail. Perhaps not what you might expect to hear from a commencement speech from a NASA flight director who's been ingrained with the mantra that failure is not an option. Well, more to come on that later. In the fall of 1998, Russia launched the Functional Cargo Block. It was the first module of the International Space Station. The US followed in December of that year with a space shuttle mission to deliver the first US module, Node 1. At the same time, I was starting an internship at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. 2 years later, as most of you were entering the second grade, the first crew started living aboard the space station, and it has been occupied ever since. With more than a little trepidation, I retired my Vermont driver's license and accepted the fact that I was in Texas for the foreseeable future. The Flight Operations Directorate, where I have made my career, is responsible for planning missions, training astronauts and flight controllers, and finally, flying the missions themselves. Our flight controllers staff the various consoles in mission control, while our astronauts strap onto the pointy end of a rocket and ride an explosion into space to live there for up to a year. This business can absolutely kill someone, and it has. It can also inspire the world and write the history books. Our diligence is born from lessons learned and paid for in lives. In 1986, a cold morning in Florida caused an O-ring to be a little more brittle. 7 astronauts died. In 2003, a chunk of foam fell off a fuel tank. 7 more paid the ultimate price. You are likely familiar with these examples. Slightly less well known is an event from 2 years ago. This is what happened. A pair of astronauts were conducting a spacewalk. One of them, a decorated Navy SEAL, the other named Luca, a test pilot in the Italian Air Force. So they were both familiar with high-stakes performance. An hour into the spacewalk, some residual silica in the water lines clogged a water gas separator in his life support system of Luca's suit. Water overflowed into his helmet, and in 0G it hovered as a quivering blob around his head. With water submerging his headset, he couldn't hear or talk. Water covered his eyes, rendering him functionally blind, and threatened to encroach on his airways. It was pitch black at night, and he was about to drown. I'll cut to the end of the story. He's fine. His partner and the team in Mission Control performed emergency procedures and got Luca out of the suit before the water could overtake him. Like the postcard that masks the full picture of Vermont, these events only hint at the truth about human spaceflight. It is not years of calm punctuated by catastrophic events or giant leaps for mankind. Spaceflight is happening all the time. Every moment of every day, people are living and exploring. We are learning to see our world without borders and our solar system without limits. However, this does not just happen. You can't show up to work on launch day and expect everything to work. Instead, you need to break it 1,000 times over. Failure is not an option. It is a necessity. Humans are ingrained with a fear of failure. What if I fail this test? What if this idea turns out to be stupid? What if I get lost? Can't speak the language? What if she says, no, I need to stay home and brush my hair? Don't laugh, I've heard that before. What if this breaks or that company fails? What if I freeze on that mountain? The trick is to fail smartly and early. By this, I mean you need to step up, you need to set up your failures so you can learn from them. Fail early when the stakes are lower, learn from your mistakes, and do it all over again. The idea with this is that any undertaking can evolve and mature through this process so that it is better when it really counts. The cumulative mistakes can refine a design or improve personal performance. At NASA, whenever an engineer hands me a prototype for a new tool or piece of hardware, I always have the same response. I hold it in my hand, turn it over, figure out how it is supposed to be used, then I do the opposite. I turn a mechanism a little bit too hard, cross-thread bolts, misalign connectors. Can I make it work with only one hand? Oops, I dropped it. Keep in mind, this tool does not need to work on Earth. It needs to work on a spacewalk. An astronaut is wearing a 300-pound suit that gives her the dexterity of a chef wearing inflated oven mitts. She has one hand keeping her attached to the space station and is flying 17,500 miles an hour with 250 miles between her feet and solid ground. Finesse with this tool is not assured. I'd rather break it in my office than when someone's life depends on it. It doesn't end there. Before flying, test hardware will be shaken, cycled, frozen, baked, depressurized, and radiated. Fail early, fail often, make it break, then make it better. Even with this rigor, I promise you, things will still find a way to break. Just look at Luca's spacesuit. So how was the team able to maintain composure during that spacewalk 2 years ago? Act decisively and prevent a tragedy. The acceptance and routine practice of failure does more than refine a design. It can change how your brain works. How do you respond when an average Saturday goes wrong and your performance suddenly and unexpectedly has the ultimate consequences? Before ever sitting in mission control, every flight controller will spend hundreds to thousands of hours in simulations. Here's how it works. Just upstairs from the space station control room is an almost identical room. Depending upon the training exercise, there will be about 10 flight controllers, each responsible for a different discipline. Power, communications, environmental control, guidance and navigation, robotics, and so on. A Capcom is there to talk to the crew, and the flight director leads the team. Each controller has upwards of 10 voice loops piped into their headset. Computer monitors are streaming video and data from sensors on the spaceship. Except there is no spaceship. Across the campus in a separate building is a computer model that replicates the performance of the vehicle. It is run by a troupe of sinister and devious trainers who have spent the previous week trying to dream up failure scenarios. They are known affectionately as the bad guys. A day may start out looking fine. The crew is plugging away on various science experiments, exercise, and routine maintenance. Then a pump fails, temporarily removing cooling to computer systems on the space station. Maybe there's bad weather in New Mexico that disrupts communication with your ground antennas. Suddenly, a meteorite punctures the hull. The cabin pressure drops, and the crew's ears start to pop. You have 4 hours to find a 1/2-inch hole in a vehicle the size of a 5-bedroom house before the crew will need to abandon ship. To make matters worse, one of your flight controllers is missing because the bad guys had them trapped in a stuck elevator. This is not the experience you want to have for the first time when it happens for real. So we practice over and over. Usually new trainees have moments when they panic. Multiple voice loops are buzzing with activity, alarms are ringing, warning messages are flashing on the projector screens. They get flustered, miss obvious clues in the data, and forget how to talk. I've been there myself. But through these failures, we learn what it feels like. We learn how to calm down, how to hold back our instinct to panic. We learn how to focus on the job at hand despite the stress and emotion of a dangerous situation. Through repetitive failures, we slowly train our instincts and snap judgments to help us identify problems and make better decisions at a gut level. Malcolm Gladwell describes this process well in Blink. He says, "Being able to act intelligently and instinctively in the moment is possible only after a long, rigorous course of education and experience." NASA is not special in this way. First responders, military, mountain climbers, scuba divers, pilots, surgeons, all of them practice failing so that they can succeed when it counts, when people's lives depend on them. Earlier, I congratulated you on your success and then told you that you would fail. Embrace that failure. Make it happen. Vermont Tech has pushed you to build it, try it, do it, break it, tweak it, take a chance. As Vermont Tech graduates, you are ahead of the game. You've gotten a rigorous course of education, experience, and applied learning. But keep going. Keep doing this. Those who don't will find themselves paralyzed by fear, and nothing will get done. Don't wait for someone to tell you what to do. Do it. What's the worst that could happen? You might fail. You might break something. Been there. So what? Keep going. People are counting on you. Thank you.
In 2011, the college brought back the tradition of honoring part-time faculty. The Part-Time Faculty Excellence in Teaching Award was awarded in that year and in 2013 to a faculty member from the Randolph Center campus and from the Williston campus. The awards are given biannually, alternating with the Harold G. Wirtz Master Teacher Award given to a full-time faculty member. Nominations for the award are solicited from department and program chairs, faculty, students, and staff. These nominations are given to the peer review committee, who individually examine the student evaluations, classroom observations, and personnel files of the nominees. After review of these documents, the committee recommends 2 faculty members to the president to receive this honor. This year, from several nominations, Linda Gustafson, a member of the English, Humanities, and Social Sciences Department, was selected by the peer review committee as the Williston campus recipient. The Randolph Center campus recipient selected by the committee is Samuel Caldwell, an instructor in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology program. Will both of you please come forward to receive your awards? The faculty of the college has met as a body and approve the candidacy of Vermont Tech students for the Associate of Applied Science, Associate of Science, Associate of Engineering, or Bachelor of Science degrees. The candidates are here assembled. I now invite department chairpersons to present their candidates to the President. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Associate of Applied Science in Architectural and Building Engineering Technology. Jacob T. Luarte. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Associate of Science in Computer Information Technology. Patrick M. Haynes. Nancy K. Mai. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Associate of Science in Computer Software Engineering. Jameson W. Taylor, cum laude. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Associate of Engineering in Civil and Environmental Engineering Technology. Garrett A. Densmore. Nicholas D. DeRocher. Daniel R. Ertel. Aaron M. James, summa cum laude, tau alpha pi, phi theta kappa, Technician of the Year. Jordan J. Lemire, American Society of Civil Engineers, Vermont Section, Greatest Academic Development Award. Christopher McAvoy. Andrew R. Van Buskirk, magna cum laude, tau alpha pi. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree Associate of Engineering in Electrical Engineering Technology. Nathan A. Andrews. Daniel G. Bartlett. Brett Bushy. Greatest all-around academic development in electrical engineering technology. Charles R. Phillips. Seth S. Stevens. Christopher L. Wright. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Associate of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering Technology. Alexander P. Alberti. Isaac M. Barker, magna cum laude, the Society of Manufacturing Engineers Award, given to the graduating student in the Mechanical Engineering Technology Department who exhibits outstanding professionalism, proficiency, and dedication. Tyler H. Berge. Colin James Derby. Alexander L. Hebert. Jonathan L. Leeser. The Mechanical Engineering Technology Award is given to the graduating student who demonstrates exemplary character, commitment, and effort in their academic studies. Matthew Sean Moulton. Garrett David Royce, summa cum laude. Adam M. Viens, magna cum laude, tau alpha pi, phi theta kappa. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Architectural Engineering Technology. Gil Blum. Courtney Lynn Hart, cum laude, tau alpha pi, ASHRAE Award from the ASHRAE Champlain Valley Chapter, Past President's Memorial Scholarship. Matthew Thomas Healy. Warren G. Irish, cum laude, tau alpha pi, phi theta kappa. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering Technology. Derek R. Clark. Cody Lee Clark. Travis L. Friend, magna cum laude. Hannes Fisher Byrne. Brendan A. Kay. Jacob Lisek. Kestrel R. Swift. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Information Technology. Matthew John Aiello II, cum laude. Richard D. Bird, cum laude. Samuel K. Brissett. David Condi. Shad Mohammed Imam, cum laude. Vincent Giovincello, summa cum laude. Alexander R. Schramm. Melissa L. Shaw. Andrew Q. Tipper. Hatem Kwol Yak. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Computer Software Engineering. Charles R. Babcock. Christopher P. Baden, cum laude. Bridget R. Barheit, magna cum laude. David Fisher Evans. Ryan A. Follensby, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Ryan T. Gilgallen, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Keith S. Gould. Cole T. Herzog, cum laude. Kyle B. Justice. Frank N. Landry. Wellington Newton. Caleb A. Noble. Jonathan Preston Vetty. Kyle G.D. Walker, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering Technology. Derek A. Bebo, cum laude. Ethan J. Gary. Devin M. St. George. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Electromechanical Engineering Technology. Paul B. Ashline. William C. Bishop. Matthew R. Campbell. Solomon D. Cohen. Joshua Michael Ferris. Brian D. Flynn. Michael E. Gilmet, Tau Alpha Pi, Phi Theta Kappa. Ryan A. Hobson, Engineer of the Year. Thomas J. Manton, Jr., cum laude. John F. Rogers. Ian R. Sylvester, dual degree recipient, Associate of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering Technology and Bachelor of Science in Electromechanical Engineering Technology. Jeffrey T. Wilder, summa cum laude, Tau Alpha Pi, Phi Theta Kappa, gold medallion for a 4.0 GPA. Mr. President, I present to you the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Sustainable Design and Technology. Matthew Joseph Allen. Travis J. Briganti, Tau Alpha Pi. Alex M. Koash. And Amanda J. Roshan. Mr. President Smith, all of the candidates for the degrees have now been presented and wait official conferring of their degrees. All candidates, please rise.
On the recommendation of the faculty of the college and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Vermont State Colleges in the state of Vermont, I confer upon you the degree Associate in Applied Science, Associate in Science, Associate in Engineering, or Bachelor of Science with all the honors, rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Having conferred your degree, I declare you the graduates of Vermont Tech, class of 2015. You may now move your tassels. Congratulations. Those Gilmets are loud. Please be seated. It is a Vermont Technical College tradition that the graduating class from each of our residential campuses present a gift to the college. I would like to introduce the representatives of our student councils at the Randolph campus and the Williston campus. Matt Aiello, our student speaker, is the class representative from the Randolph Center campus.
On behalf of the class of 2015, I'm back up here to present the class gift. Some of you have never been in the basement of Maury Hall, but those of you that have know that it's in rough shape. So this year, the Vermont Tech Student Council will be packing up the walls, carpet, and furniture and shipping them back to the 1970s where they came from. It is my pleasure to present the renovation of the Maury basement.
Future students will be grateful. John Rogers is the class president at the Williston campus. He is from Orleans, Vermont. John has participated in the student council for his entire time at the college. He is one of the most enthusiastic participants in college activities, always encouraging others to attend events on campus. He's the guy who grabs the basketball or volleyball and gets the rest of the crowd to play a game that ends up lasting all afternoon. Never interfering with academics, I'm sure. He graduated today with a Bachelor of Science in Electromechanical Engineering Technology. John, come on up.
I never know how it's so exciting. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here on behalf of the Williston Student Council to announce the class gift. It's my honor to present President Dan Smith, as well as the rest of the administration, and mostly the students that go to the Williston campus with this year's gift. This year we are building a new basketball court for the kids and putting in a new basketball hoop. So, ball hard, Williston. Thank you.
On behalf of the entire college, I am pleased to accept these gifts from the class of 2015. At this point, I'd like to welcome Professor John Diebold, Chair of the Civil and Environmental Engineering Technology Program and alumnus of the college. John will welcome our newest alumni to the Vermont Tech Alumni Association.
Good afternoon, and congratulations, you did it, all right? Well done. It's my pleasure to welcome you, the graduates of the class of 2015, to the more than 11,000 members of Vermont Technical College Alumni Association. I encourage you to call on other Vermont Tech alumni as a resource as you pursue your careers and your dreams. Welcome to the Vermont Tech Alumni Association. I ask you now to please rise while Tiffany Gast and Seth Warren perform the college's alma mater. Tiffany and Seth, thank you.
Proudly here upon the mountain stands our dear old VTC with an answer to the challenge of the days that are to be. She will loyal service render as we seek a future bright, and will join in singing praises for the dear old green and white. No power shall e'er dissever the ties we form while here, as we labor on together midst the scenes we hold so dear. On the campus or in classrooms, we shall strive with all our might, and increase in joy and knowledge neath the dear old green and white. When from VTC we wander, all our happy school days o'er, may all memories grow fonder, till time shall be no more. And with all the Tech alumni, we'll continue in the fight to bring ever greater honors to our dear old green and white.
Our ceremony is now at an end, and we have welcomed the class of 2015 into the circle of those who have completed their degrees. Again, congratulations and thank you to everyone who made this special day possible, especially our hardworking commencement committee. I now ask that the audience rise and remain standing in place until the platform party and the graduates have completely exited. Thank you very much.